Hi, today I'm going to show you how to better create your own agent in Trae that goes way beyond what built-in agent can do. So you must be wondering that why and when we need to create our own agent in Trae and how to create a good one. So this video is going to answer all these questions and show you how to prompt an agent in Trae that actually works. So after this video, you can go from prompting an agent like this to better prompt an agent like this. Okay, let's get started. So let's go to the first question. Why you need to create your own agent in Trae? There are three main reasons you might want to consider it. So the first thing is about specialized task handling. So built-in agents like builders and builder with MCPs are generalist, but custom agent can be a specialist. So you can have an agent specifically focus on some of the tasks for you, like end-to-end testing, fetching database, changing UIs, etc. So you can delegate these specialized tasks with the finer control of context input and tool handlings. And the second thing is about fine-tuned behavior control. So the built-in agents are already pretty good for generalized coding tasks, but what if you want something more specific? We've seen people being pretty creative about their own agents. There are people building a product manager inside their task or building a visual designer to help bringing better taste to their product. And also there are people building a deep research agent right inside Trae IDE to be able to level up both their productivity and softness. And the third thing is about tool controls. So with custom agent, you get smarter tool selections. And this is quite important because you get to decide exactly which tool your agent can access and how they use them. So before we jump into creating your own agent in Trae, let's first talk about planning. So here's the framework about asking yourself these questions to plan your agent. And it's about task, context, tools, and communications. Task means which specific tasks will this agent handle. And context means that what kind of context does this agent need to know about your business, your product, or this project specifically. Tools is about what kind of tools will this agent have access to, like MCP servers or any of the web browsers or file systems. And the last but not least is about communication. How do you want your agent to communicate or work with you? And this defines its tones, roles, and characters. And after we plan our agent, we can go to the prompting part. So the heart of a good agent is the prompt. So this isn't just about telling it what to do. This is also about setting the roles, expertise, context, and also set the clear boundaries of your agent. To prompt your Trae agent, usually you can take these three steps. So the first step is to define the roles and expertise of your agent, whether it's a backend expert or a testing expert or some strategy agent that specializes in SEO. You can specialize in creating the roles and expertise of your agent first. So the step 2 is to set the context, which is to tell your agent what it needs to know to better work with you. So the step 3 is about defining behaviors for this agent. And behaviors typically includes things like tool use, output format, and what kind of principles or rules this agent should follow. And you can also leverage the tools inside Trae like chat mode or prompt optimizer to better prompt your agent. So let's take an example and see how we can take these steps into creating our own agent. So here I want to build a web testing agent that can help me with testing my website without me clicking on every single button and generate a report for me. So for the MCPs, I want to use Context 7 to be able to fetch the latest documentations for some of the libraries and tools that I use. And by the way, Context 7 is really helpful and really an expert in doing this kind of steps. And for the web testing, I also want to use Playwright to be able to be my QA so that I don't have to open web pages and execute button testings myself for every single ones. So we're in the chat mode right now, and I just pasted in my initial prompt for the web testing agent. So here there are two ways that I can actually improve my prompt for this agent. So the first way is to use a prompt optimizer, and it can actually optimize my input. So you can see that the prompt optimizer did a pretty good job. It defines the roles, and also it formatted our responsibilities and also the workflows for the agent. We can use the results generated from the prompt optimizer to write a better prompt. And another way is to leverage models like GPT-5 inside our chat box to write a better prompt. Here, I also wanted to generate a markdown file directly inside our project so that I can just copy-paste the markdown into my agent. Okay, let's see how GPT-5 is doing here. So GPT-5 just helped us generate a well-structured agent prompt in the markdown format. So I can just copy it and then go to create agent. So I want to name it as a web testing agent. And I can change an avatar that I like. And we can just copy paste what GPT just wrote for us. And if we take a closer look of our existing prompt, then we can see that we've optimized the prompt to specify the tool use in our MCPs sections, like how and when we should use context 7 to fetch the latest document, and what kind of testing workflows we should make use of the Playwright MCPs. Okay. And for the tools, now that I've already have the Playwright MCPs as well as the context 7 added, I can just check on the box for this agent and then create one. And if you don't have the existing tool selected, you can also directly add from Marketplace or add it manually from your Create Agent panel. And for the built-in tools, we have file systems, we have terminals, web search, and previews, because I want to use the recent documentations as well as see my browsers, so I will keep all these checked. And let's create it. And now we can call upon our web testing agent to start testing our landing page and all the buttons inside this website. Okay. I will start with this prompt to test the user interactions and let the testing agent to generate a testing report for us. So with me just sitting here, you can see that the agent is actually testing the interactions inside our website. Well, I will let it finish and generate a testing report. Okay, just after a few minutes, we can see that the web tester agent just finished its work and provide us with a test summary of what has passed and what are the minor notes that we need to optimize. And this is how I'm gonna work in the current project. So when I'm on my coding stuffs, I just use builders or builder with MCPs. And whenever I need to test my user flows, I just call upon the web testing agent to run the test for me. And before we end this video, here are some of the pro tips to make your agent work better. So the first thing is about setting clear boundaries for your agent. Instead of telling a lot of things about what it should do, sometimes telling your agent what it should not do also helps. So the second thing is about using some examples to show your agent what the output format should look like, what prompt it should run, etc. And third is about being explicit about tool use, especially when your agent have multiple tool selections and a very complex project to solve. And regarding the format, usually Markdown or XML works better for the agent promptings. So to end this video, here are some of the common mistakes that you probably want to avoid. The first is about writing very generic prompts. And we've just covered frameworks and several different ways to help you make better prompts. And I hope that could be helpful to you. Usually when agent doesn't work, 75% of the reasons is probably because of the prompt. The second thing is about overcomplicating your agent designs. I know that sometimes you want multiple agents to work with you in a single project, but right now the custom agents are not able to call upon each other. Better to have an agent design that have clear task separations, and each agent has its siloed responsibilities, so your agents are not conflicting with each other in their work. And the third thing is about be explicit and not overcomplicating your tool access. And the last but not least is site context, like we covered in our previous video, is also super important for building a better project in Trae. Always remember that you should have your context most up to date. There are several different ways that you can keep your context up to date, like using MCPs or updating docs and updating your project guidelines and rules. So just make sure that the context stays up to date for your work. And this is all for today's video, and hope this video can help you build better agent in Trae.